Hey everybody, what's going on? Welcome back. It's Jordan here. So I was having a look around the Lego room the other day and I was like, what projects can I continue to work on? Because right now, I won't lie, I'm sort of struggling to find projects because the city is like fully developed. Although I have been trying to like further develop it, and I'm just lying to you blatantly. There are a ton of projects that I could be working on. But I was having a browse around and I was like, you know what? I see some pretty cool castles up there on the shelf that goes above like the little medieval area in the Lego city, right? There's the Elsa's Frozen Ice Castle. It's super cool. I'm just kidding. It's the two castles that are right beside that. There's the two rebrickable models. And the crazy thing about those two sets right there is the fact that they actually consist of 6 sets. Yeah, you heard me right there. 6 sets. Isn't that crazy? What set is it? It's the medieval 3-in-1 castle. I have 6 of those just sitting there on the shelf. That is insane. Like, there's nothing wrong with those rebrickable models, but I'm thinking I could take those 6 sets and build something epic. And I want to start working on that project today. To be honest, this shelf right here consists of the most random sets in this Lego room. Like, it's actually ridiculous. We've got Avatar floating above the city. Then the Nutcracker, which was actually a Lego employee gift, but we parted it out on Bricklink and this built it ourselves. Then we've got 2 architecture sets. That's the Empire State Building and the Statue of Liberty. The 2 massive castles, which we're having a look at here today. Whew, that one's pretty cool. It's the medieval fortress. And then there's also the Black Falcon Knight Castle right there. And then once again, the Frozen Ice Castle. And then another rebrickable model, which is actually done by a Lego designer, also a Lego master. That's Boone. And he actually took the Colosseum and created this Castle Fortificata. I sort of like this end of the shelf. Like, that looks pretty sweet, right? All the castles and everything. But then it sort of gets random with the Avatar stuff. Doesn't really look as presentable as, say, that shelf over there with the Titanic and all the other boats, right? They just present so well. And then this shelf is sort of like, what do you got going on up there? Sort of random. Also, my bulkhead shelves are sort of random too. Like, this one up here is pretty much empty. And then this one, I guess it has some lightsabers. That looks pretty sweet. But I should probably move those lightsabers to like right there, because there's a huge open spot beside the jazz quartet and then some like deep sea stuff on the very far shelf. That doesn't really make any sense. And you can like see that when you come into the Lego room and we have the opening shot of the Lego city. So I really should put some better sets up there. Definitely 2 epic models, and oh boy, is it ever going to be hard to part these out. But you know what? It's part of my Lego recycling program where you part out things and rebuild new things, right? So the one on the left here is the medieval fortress, and that was created by Mock Scout on rebreakable.com. I remember it being a pretty cool build. The instructions were a little bit strange. I did it live actually here on the channel. If you dig way back in that playlist, you could probably find that live build. Then we have the Black Falcon Knight Castle, and this one here was created by Made with Bricks. And once again, 3 of those medieval castles in this one. This one actually splits the midsection so you can see the interior details. So that's pretty cool. I like the height of this one here too. Pretty neat, pretty solid walls. I also like this one though, how it has that drawbridge and also like the center area. I think that's a really cool concept. And then there's like a jail cell and all sorts of stuff. I did reviews, like detailed reviews on both of these. So if you want to check those out, make sure you dig for those in my videos or just do a quick search. You should be able to find them. The question is how do I part these out? You know, like how do I gain the strength to do it? Do I part them out in style? Like, do I smash them or do I just part them out piece by piece? I'm probably just going to part them out piece by piece just for respect of the model and the pieces. You know what I mean? But there's so many great pieces in here. Like, we've got all the tiles, there's shield tiles, there's masonry bricks, there's the yellow and the browns for the wood accents. And I'm thinking I'll be able to take all the pieces from this and build something on a 48 by 48 Mills plate. That's going to be the difference here, because these are just like chilling on plate. Like, you've got the water plate and all these odd shaped plates. The designers, of course, did a great job of like consuming all of the pieces, but it's not actually sitting on a base plate. And if I'm able to create this on a Mills plate so that can be part of a larger medieval area in the future, I think that'd be super cool. I decided to move my workplace upstairs. On the kitchen table here, I've got all my bins ready to go. And I'm starting with the medieval fortress. Luna, what's up? Hello, kitty. Wow. Look at that kitty jump. The bins are just filling up. Like, look at all those slopes and all the large plate. A huge amount of brick. And guess what? There's still this huge section of castle left. So after a night of hanging out with the children and a long night of sorting, both castles are broken down. Holy cow, that is a lot of pieces. I wonder what I'm going to build with that. So we're going to talk about that. And there's also some other projects in the Lego room that I want to start talking about as well. Some things that I've got to sort of map out as I move forward into the future. But seriously, breaking down those two castles and sorting everything by part type was sort of therapeutic. Not quite therapy, but definitely therapeutic. Before we continue making these Lego room changes, I just wanted to let you know about today's sponsor. It's BetterHelp. BetterHelp is an incredible online therapy platform that can help you with daily stresses or bigger challenges. I actually originally turned to Lego as a form of therapy to escape reality from my high-stress job. I was so stressed out, I just needed an escape, and Lego provided that. Also, in my teens and mid-20s, I went and saw a therapist. Jose recently gave birth to our beautiful children and struggled with some postpartum depression and also just the struggles of raising twins. That's why we believe in the importance of finding the right help and also believe in BetterHelp. And BetterHelp is actually an incredible service because it's hosted online. So you can get the therapy that you need from the comfort of your own home in any form. You can get it through text message, phone call, or also video call. And the interesting thing about BetterHelp is they have access to 30,000 therapists. That's how big their network is. The process is actually pretty straightforward. All you have to do is just click the link that's in the description or pinned comment of this video, fill out a few questions about yourself, and then in most cases, they're going to be able to match you up with a therapist within 48 hours, which is pretty cool because finding the right therapist is part of the journey, right? Like that's the difficult thing, right? Finding the right therapist that best suits your needs. And the interesting thing about BetterHelp is because they have such a big network of therapists, if you find one and it doesn't really match your needs, you can actually change it for no additional cost. Therapy with BetterHelp isn't about just facing crises, it's about maintaining your mental health because your mental health is just as important as your physical health, and I think a lot of people forget about that. So whether you're dealing with just a little bit of stress or you're going through something bigger, BetterHelp is there to support you through any of that. So if you're thinking about taking a step towards better mental health, click on the link and you'll actually save 10% on your first month. Let's prioritize better mental health. And also, let's get back to the Lego room update. The medieval 3-in-1 castle has 1,426 pieces, and once again, this is 6 castles. So there's approximately 8,556 pieces sorted here. Isn't that crazy? I pulled out the instruction manuals, because this is a 3-in-1 set. You can build the original castle, or like the primary design there, which I actually did build originally, and it was a great design. Like, it was a great set. I loved it. I didn't build the other 2 options just because they looked sort of small and incomplete compared to this castle here. But now I have 6 of them, and I need to figure out how to build a mega castle. It's funny. These parts have actually been through a lot because I remember I built an alt build that required 2 of the medieval 3-in-1 castles, and then I built those 2 other ones that we saw earlier today, and now they're parted out and we're going to build something different. But this is all of the panels and also corner bricks. For some reason I paired those up. 1x and 2x plate, larger and odd shaped plate, then all of the brick. I should probably bust this down to like 2x, 1x because that is a lot of brick. Like, there's so many 1x2 bricks in there. This is all like the miscellaneous stuff. You got some cool minifigs and crates and weapons and doors and also vegetation, and then the 1x2s, the 1x1s, brackets, jumpers, hinge bricks and connectors, and then all of the arches over here, like a ton of arches. This is crazy. That's all arches. Holy cow, that's a ton of cheese slopes and a ton of cylinders as well. Holy, and 1x1 bricks, and then a mass amount of slopes in all different colors. So how am I going to go about building a massive castle? I don't even know where to start. I guess I should build a mill's plate and just start laying some bricks down and figure it out. Maybe what I should do is rebuild the original so I can sort of see how that went together, because honestly it's been a while since I've built this original set. And then once I have the original built, I can sort of supersize that. I did something similar to this set right over here. This is the old school King's Castle. How cool is that? I built it originally, right? Then I acquired a second set from Bricklink, and I supersized it. I gave it like this rock base, the moat going around with the crocodile or alligator there, all sorts of trees, the rock leading up to the drawbridge, which is super nice. Now the issue with this one is it's not mills plated, so I'm actually going to have to rebuild this one too on a mills plate. It's currently sitting on 4 of the 32x32 base plates. But what I'm thinking is these will be like my 2 primary castles. Well, I guess the other primary castle that I'll have in the medieval area in the future will also be the Lion Knight's castle, which is right back there. So we'll actually have 3 primary castles. There'll be some sort of Black Falcon Knight castle, right? Then we have the Lion Knight's castle, and then we have the King's castle. And I want to get them all mills plated and build some sort of epic medieval scene in the future. We're going to continue working on that castle project in one moment, but first, I've got to take care of these distractions. I myself am very distracted right now. I cannot stand to look at that bulkhead shelf in that state any longer. Plus, that shelf back there with all those random sets, are you kidding me? That has to be changed. So I'm actually going to swap up all of those sets. So what do you think of the first swap up? We've got the Castle Fortificata, which is an alt build of the Colosseum, and the Death Star 2. This is pretty sketchy, so I figured, you know what? I better capture it on camera, just in case anything goes very wrong. Whoa, I almost just tripped on the step ladder. But like, it is a very far reach. And this is super sketchy. Oh, okay. I don't think there's very much clearance for this thing. I'm just hoping it works. So the stand for it is actually going to be hanging off the shelf by just a smidge, about an inch. Look at that. Is that safe? I don't know. It is on one of the tracks, like right on the track with the support coming off the wall, so it's not too bad. I sort of want to have it angled over the city. So my plan here is to change this entire shelf that's over the city to all Star Wars. Doesn't that look cool? Looks pretty sketchy though. It's like right on the edge of the shelf. Woo! Would not want that to go smash. Because to be honest with you, it wasn't the funnest build. Because the instructions were so dated. It's from 2005. Oh yeah, that definitely looks pretty awesome. I think we're off to a great start. It is pretty sketchy. It should be on a bigger shelf. That's only a 12-inch shelf. And it's right on the edge. But man, we're off to a great start. I can't wait to convert that whole shelf to Star Wars. I've got my eyes on the next target. However, with that said, if it fits, it'll be an exact fit. In order to get this beauty to fit on the shelf, I actually had to remove the top brick, tile, and slope from the dorsal fin just to give it clearance, but you can barely tell from afar, and I think it's worth it. Everybody check that out. It's coming along great. Got the big tall sets up there. Slave 1, V-Wing, and I've got a few more in mind. It's funny, when I started filming this video, I had no idea that I would be making a huge change to my shelving. But now I have a new mission, and that mission is to get rid of the triple stacked table over here because it's sort of blocking the view. I've only got to move 3 more sets. That's both UCS X-Wings and also the Justifier on the very bottom. You kids having fun in your ball pit? Yeah? I just finished making a latte. It's to celebrate the changes that we've made in the Lego room, kids. Woohoo! Yeah, woo! So much fun, hey? Wow. Look at you, crazy lady. Yeah. Is that your favorite place? Yeah. You're crazy. You know what? I want to finish this video the exact same way that I started it, with a walk down the stairs, just because there's been so many positive changes that have been made to the Lego room. It's actually crazy. So right when you come down the stairs, you'll notice that those tables are gone. Mission accomplished. Yes. You know what? I love those tables there because they displayed like epic sets, right? Specifically the Imperial Shuttle. But then when I removed them, I was like, oh man, that looks so much better. You can actually get in there and see everything. And you don't even have to get in there to see it now. More like it, you can actually see it when you walk down the stairs. And that's sort of what I like, you know. I want to come into the Lego room and have it all clean and presentable. Down here, there's some other changes as well. So of course, I cleared out those shelves. So I had to find a new home for the frozen ice castle. And I think that's perfect because it's right below the Winter Village. And that's same with the Nutcracker there as well. And then I decided to position my outhouse right outside of the frozen ice castle because I noticed that build didn't have a washroom. So I decided to put that right there. I just thought that made sense as well. I do mean to put that in the campground by the log cabin that I recently built. I just forgot to do it for some reason. I want to remove the snow elements and make it work in the campground. I put the Avatar stuff on these 2 shelves. There used to be a UCS set there, and then there was a whole bunch of stuff underneath that didn't really make sense. So that is where all of the Avatar sets are now. And I think it actually fills that little section in the cabinet quite nicely. I like that, right? And then over here we've got the Castle Fortificata. Originally I had the Castle Fortificata but beside the Colosseum, but I decided to put the Eiffel Tower and also the Eiffel Tower. That's not the Eiffel Tower. Oh my gosh. That is the Empire State Building and also Lady Liberty, or the Statue of Liberty, beside the Colosseum. Speaking of Eiffel Tower, dun dun, look what's back in play, everybody. It's the Eiffel Tower. Woohoo! Rebuilt. Yeah, when I was working on the Winter Village, I accidentally kicked it and it crumbled to the ground, but it is back here in the Lego room, and I think that's why I was confused and I called the Empire State Building the Eiffel Tower. Whoops, I just sort of on my mind. So yeah, that looks super good now. Like, it's so much better. I love having a clean, presentable Lego room. Speaking of presentable, holy cow, look at the bulkhead shelves and also look at the Star Wars shelves now. They've been converted into Star Wars shelves. Yes, it is so much better. So up top here, we've got the UCS Red 5s, or the UCS X-Wings, right? And then also the lightsabers, so that shelf is now full. Doesn't really make sense to have the Jazz Quartet there, but oh well, I'm happy with the changes. And then look at the UCS shelves. Yeah, isn't that awesome? We've got the A-Wing, the Darth Vader TIE Fighter Advance, the TIE Fighter, Chewbacca, the B-Wing, the Slave One, the massive Darth Vader, which is built using some rewrickable instructions, and also the Darth Vader helmet, and then of course the Imperial Shuttle and the Death Star 2. And I love the fact that those are just like so visible in the Lego room now. Like, it is so much better. Those shelves just looked so terrible, and now they actually present really, really well. I'm really happy with those changes. I didn't think I would be doing those changes today or making those changes, but it turns out I was willing to do it, and I'm really happy that I got her done. Like, that's awesome. In addition to that, I parted out all those castles, or both of those castles, right? And I have all of those parts ready to go. So unfortunately, I wasn't able to start building my custom castle. However, with that said, I have prepped the Mills plate for it, and I recreated the 3-in-1 castle. So the castle that you see there has been recreated, and it sits on a Mills plate, which will definitely change, but this is a 48 by 48 Mills plate. It has 2 studs of green going around the perimeter, and then 4 studs of moat. I put blue and dark blue there, and I plan on fully tiling that over with various trans blue elements, just like I did with this moat over here. But the underlying plate is going to give it some nice depth and some nice texture. And then there are, what's the math on that? 6, that's 12, 36 studs, 36 by 36 stud pad in the middle for the actual castle. Now I know this pad doesn't look very big, but when you think about it, that's 2, 4, 6 studs here of additional space and approximately 6 studs here of additional space. So that's 12 studs of growth that I'll be able to give this castle just like width-wise and also depth-wise, and then I'll be able to build it up as well. So I'm hoping to increase the size of these towers, add more towers, just make it bigger. And also some of these towers might be able to overhang once they come up. Maybe they can branch out with all of those arches. You can branch them out and have these towers go up. What the exact design of that is going to be, or what the exact design is going to be, I'm not too sure at this point. But I wanted to rebuild the original because I think it's going to be a lot easier to go through and just be like, okay, I've got this tower here. It's on a 6x6 plate. Let's increase it to 4 6x6 plates or something ridiculous like that, right? I just think it's going to be easier to manipulate and increase the size of now that I have this base structure ready to go and built, you know, like it's just a good way of doing it. That's exactly how I did this one. I took the original set, then I took the second set, and I sort of just blew it up. There's a lot of chaos and destruction that happens when you go through the process of doing that, but I'm excited to take that on in a future video. So we're all ready to go. The parts are ready to go, and I think this Lego room is looking incredible. I'm so happy with that. The Death Star is over top of the Lego City. How cool is that? Oh, yes, a very successful day and a half, that's for sure. Everybody, thank you so much for coming on by. I hope you enjoyed this vlog. And I want to give one more shout out to BetterHelp. Thank you so much for sponsoring this video. Mental health is so important. If you or somebody you know are in need of therapy, make sure you check out the link in the pinned comment below. Thank you so much for coming on by. Please remember to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for some more great stuff coming out in the near future. Farewell.